Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Capital. But this is some old video here that I'm going to reshare or repackage or regift. This is the holiday train, and this took place in Windsor, Ontario on Friday, November 30th. The Sam Roberts Band just performed here. Nice stage in a rail car. They got this all figured out. There's Sam Roberts there. Okay, so I'm just going to redo the audio for a portion of this. I'm going to go with 15 minutes of old video here from the holiday train, but it'll give me an opportunity to talk more about trains and the connection between Chicago, Detroit, and Toronto and beyond. But the Canadian Pacific Railroad, they have different cars here, Strathcona, and off in the distance, wow, the city of Detroit. I'm looking north right now. The Great White North up there. How about it? But a good family crowd here for this event. And it gets dark early. But they had some sleeper cars on there. And so that's where it was parked, in the rail yard. This is a great handy-dandy map. I took the tunnel to get over. We're going to follow the train back under the Detroit River. And later in the show, I'll be in Corktown, show where the train would surface. So yeah, the beautiful city of Windsor. And it goes right behind the Michigan Central Depot, which Ford has recently bought and is renovating. The holiday train has to back up, though. Going north, it's going to hit a dead end, so it's got to back up in the rail yard and then connect on another set of tracks to go under the Detroit River. So this is all part of the fun. This was the first time I've ever seen this, and we're on the move now. Yeah, it was definitely a family event, and for my first time, I really enjoyed it, but I love trains as a rule. I'll stop and watch a train all day long. I think, and I don't know anything about all this, but people sometimes talk about past lives and whatnot. If I had one of those, I might have been a hobo. I'm just thinking, because I love trains. Could have been. And then it kind of stopped over here at the southern part of the rail yard. And they had to unload some the band equipment. I think the band also got off. They went through like a Canadian tour. Here's Al.
White North or what? Okay. What's your name? Al. Al. And you got whose autograph?
Sam Roberts.
All right.
What you're gonna get? There's a police.
We were talking a little hockey there also. But anyway, Windsor's cool, so it's always fun to visit. So I was told by the rail people that there's another good viewing spot where the holiday train will go under the Detroit River and take the Detroit-Windsor Tunnel, the river tunnel. And so I'm just getting close to the scene here, and sure enough, there were some people on the bridge, so I knew I hadn't missed it. But I've just parked here. I'm parked near Leopards. That shouldn't be too hard to forget. But I always wanted to see this area too, because if we're going to connect the two countries with via the train, and we do right now, but it's freight trains. But what we're going to see here is actually a passenger train, and it can be done. So we should just get more passenger, even though they say it's like dangerous. But 1909 here, look at this, Detroit River Tunnel. And they made it a little taller, the one on the right there. But there's two tracks, and they have surveillance and all that. So they probably have infrared and heat sensors, and bombs go off and all that. Well, you probably wouldn't see that, but I mean, you would know. Nowadays, with surveillance, they're on to all that. But there's train tracks going crisscrossing through Windsor, so you got to watch your step here. And there's the beacon. So it was a little chill in the night air, but this was just after Thanksgiving weekend. And patiently waiting. But the connection, this is when I should be talking about this stuff. A nice connection between three great cities: Chicago, Detroit, Toronto, and then you could go to Montreal and Quebec City. You can have passenger trains go through here. You need customs and so forth, but you have customs anytime you have two countries getting together. You're going to have that. So you would have to do that, one on each side, so you would have an expense there. You'd have to make up a few train stations, but a seamless connection between these two great countries and three great cities. Just thinking, yes, we can do this. Now, in this day and age, we can pull this off. And to see it in reality here with this holiday train, it just goes to the point it can be done. So we're going to watch this. Had to wait here, but It was worth the wait.
Lights.
Oh, it's coming now. It's coming. It is.
Oh yeah, there it goes, the holiday train. And it's going to go into the Detroit River Tunnel and then exit in the other side in the United States of America in Corktown. So I'm going to check that out later in the show. So don't touch that dial. And that's the way it was. It's all lit up. But yeah, there were sleeper cars on there. So people are on there. They're doing their thing. Boy, the tourism industry would love that. Have a nice hookup. Toronto, seamless to Detroit. Man, if we had a nice hotel in Corktown. Ooh, Michigan Central Depot. Maybe they could have a few floors of hotel rooms up there. Charge top dollar. But then the train could go onward to Chicago. Oh, yeah. Tourism. And who would have thunk Detroit would have been in the middle of all that? Okay, so that's the way it was. Okay, and then I'm going to switch tapes here real quickly. So that was just the old video redone, repackaged. But I want to continue on about, we could even have Olympics between these three great cities. They say they would take regional bids. Hey, look at the map here. So this is where it surfaces in Corktown. I'll check this out. And then the larger map here, there's the tunnel. And the train, it's going to loop down in through southwest Detroit. Near I-75, there's a rail bridge. The Dearborn Exchange. Then through Allen Park. My friend Jim says it followed that line and then along I-94. So I want to catch the train next year, the holiday train, as it surfaces in Michigan. And they keep the lights on for a while, but then for safety reasons, they're like going to turn them off. So I don't know. I want to promote this holiday train. But more on that later. First, this nice woodcut. And it's like a Santa bear. And a fine job here. You even have an eagle or two. Yeah, I was just driving by and said, hey, looky there. That's well done. The detail. I tried to have a bear in the front of my house, but the tree, the ants got to it. This one's solid. 2013. The Chainsaw Man. Okay. He probably in the movie industry too. But yeah, well done. Okay. So I just took a little video here and there. I got a few things and then I'll get into some meaty material. Here the moon looks cool though. I like that little sliver. If I can hold that steady. It was dark. There's my bear. I might have to hide him. It's been a bearish stock market. But he guards the house. There the bear. Okay, and then while keeping with the holiday theme, these were just little snippets. I keep a camcorder in the back seat, and I noticed sometimes late at night, Frosty the Snowman just wants to cop a snooze. So, yeah. Wanted to check to see if he was all right and everything, but he's just comfy, looks like. Yeah, no harm, no foul. But, yeah, just rolling around. I need to put Christmas decorations up at my house. Okay. Now, Corktown neighborhood. Had a little time. Going to focus a little bit on the Detroit side of things here. And the holiday train came through, but we're talking not just a once a year kind of thing. Something that can be more sustainable, like once or twice a day kind of a thing. But yeah, you could have a couple floors of that, could be a hotel, or you could put a hotel here, something. This place, it's for sale. And I'm sure there's a lot of speculation now with the recent Ford announcements. So Corktown, Mexican town, everything's going to have to be revisited. And there's some empty space here too, but here, this surfacing of the tunnels, taking a look here. So you got the dual tunnel, and hopefully Ford, they say they're into mobility and all that. Well, hopefully that's the full aspect, and they don't turn their back onto the trains, because that's what kind of made the train station kind of. I haven't heard anything with the train aspect, but yeah, the tracks rumble right behind there. Go figure. So, yeah, urban planning, though, everybody can get involved in this, and on a grand scale, when you're combining like two countries and saying, hey, yeah, let's go with this rail tunnel. This will be a neat way to connect the two countries, and things can flow back and forth, and they're two interesting countries, so close but yet so different. Okay, well, looking at the tracks again here, they're even doing some work on the bridge here, so that was a little tricky navigating through all that. We got a bottle rocket there. Now, to get the double containers for the rail cars, they heightened the left rail tunnel. And so that happened a few years ago. So it's a big thing used for freight, no doubt about it. But the detour, those are the bomb. It always happens. No matter what best laid plans you might have, you always end up in a detour situation, and that's the way it should be. Do the detour. These berries, I don't think they're good for eating. You got to leave those alone. And then you don't want to mess with barbed wire, even though it's kind of artistic the way it was spiraled there. This is kind of, you could do some movies out of a place like this. But yeah, it looks like a Cold War type building. But yeah, there it is. So what to do? Everything's on the table now, with Detroit especially. Lots of things are available, and they have been, but everything can get repurposed. Maybe this has to come down. You never know. You got to do the pro versus con, risk reward. Well, I want to check the pony ride, which is further down this street. It's kind of like an incubator for artistes and the like. Aretha. So it looks like they have a bus to get around. And then there's a coffee shop there. They were closed at this particular time, but I want to get a closer look at the tunnel. The Knight Foundation, they do a lot of good things with the arts. So yeah, I'm at Pony Ride here. And so they have some artistic logos and the like, some mural action. All right, off in the distance, the Ambassador Bridge. And it's not Canada, but somebody's flying the maple leaf up there. But here, a closer look at the tracks as they surface from under the Detroit River. And yeah, you can see the one here on the left is chipped a little bit more up top. Detroit River 1909. So built the same time as the Canadian side. Go figure. And then a little stairs going down. This used to be high security, and it probably still is for illegal aliens and the like. But with cameras and so forth. But you do need customs to be sure if you're going to have a thing, and people will need to have passports. But how cool would it be to do a weekend in Toronto or a weekend in Chicago, and you come down here, park, hop on the train, and away you go. And then if there's a cool-ass hotel right here, like I always thought this would have been a great casino, the Michigan Central Depot. Who wouldn't want to do all that? But you could put up maybe a hotel on this side here. There's still some barbed wire around, so got to be careful. But the times they are changing, so yeah, we can rethink all this kind of stuff. Kind of connect the dots kind of a thing. And Chicago's a kick-ass city, and that's a nice little short drive. And Toronto is really hip, too. It's like the New York of Canada. Here's the front of the pony ride. So they have some artwork. There's a coffee shop there. There's another, well, a party bus place. So I'll walk around Corktown a little bit, and certainly things are happening in Corktown, and the Ford announcement is really going to spur the growth. Ooh, that's a little scary. But look at the windows here. But the old parts of the city, it's a comeback. There's not that fear factor like there was years ago. So the opportunities in the city, they're certainly there. The price probably has gone up, though. But still, this area probably a whole lot more affordable than most places. Certainly more affordable than Chicago or Toronto. We have some catching up to do. But anyways, looking at some of the businesses and what's happening in the neighborhood, they have bike lanes, but you see some of the businesses along here, and they're going to be impacted certainly with what happens in Corktown. This was kind of an interesting little space here with all these service bay doors. So I don't know what it was back in the day, but with a nice paint job, who knows, you could retrofit that, make it into a restaurant or a hip pad. You'd have a bunch of parking for friends out front. It'd be easy to make deliveries. It looks like they did some Christmas trees over there or whatnot. But yeah, what a cool little space. It looks like some rooms up top. Yeah, look at, you don't have to cut the grass. You're in. And then look, Motor City Match. So some of these places might afford you the opportunity to do some of these things. You don't have to really play by the rules anymore. It's kind of like, as far as urban planning, like anything goes. If you want to do a business or you could live there. Here are some businesses in this complex here. But now getting into the Ford part, they've been in this building for a little bit already. Kind of has that Greenfield Village, Henry Ford Museum type feel to it. But yeah, they kept the nice attributes of this building here. So yeah, Ford is trying to get hip, and why not? You got to keep up with those millennials. So, and look at some of the homes here too. Corktown, they're like modest homes, but so cool. You don't really need monster homes. It kind of, it's nice to see people make a go of it with much smaller kind of a thing. And they get by too. The bikes, you can't understate the importance of what Detroit's doing with these bikes and getting a more mobile constituency. See the cameras and stuff? They're all over the place. It's hard to be a bad guy these days, so you got to be wary of that. But look at storefront property here. Yeah, good lighting. Look at the timbers. All that is aesthetic type stuff. It does your heart good. But anyways, I remember these days, back when the Tigers played at Tiger Stadium, we'd park back out this way. And look, so the scooter thing, yeah, you can do that with your phone and so forth. I have not tried that yet. And I better set the camcorder down before I do. I think I'd have to pay attention. But a scooter looks like it would be fun. Well, then they have a barber shop here, and I like this quote on the back, so you get a little history here. This is Mary Jarrett Jackson. Statement. Look at this. Take it to the bank. We need these type of tough women in Detroit. Yes, indeed. Detroit is doing their comeback, but some people say don't call it America's comeback. We've been here for over 300 years, and that certainly is true, but it's on the upswing now, so this is good because it's got a boost from the millennials who are taking a second look at Detroit. Yeah, art is everywhere, even in front of LJ's Lounge and the Sugar House. Well, real estate, it's pricey, and but there are other neighborhoods in Detroit. So with this whole urban planning thing, I think I'm gonna in the future explore more of different neighborhoods and what they have to offer, and there's a lot of affordability. There are trade-offs, to be sure. There was some they have an annual Santa party, so it must have been on this evening. So Slows and one of the early players in Detroit's rebirth, and since they've done expansions and the like. But a lot of people have followed since then. Corktown, there's a nice sculpture. And then the CPA building. Nice triangular shaped building with truncated corners, but we'll have to see. Somebody's going to do something with this, and it's right across from the train station. The lower level at one time was a bank, so the drive-through over here. Built to suit. Okay, you can even do the mixed juice thing if you like. Yeah, cool building, to be sure, but we'll see what happens. This is looking westbound there, US 12. Roosevelt Park across the street. Hopefully that stays like a nice community gathering place for people to have their events, like those bike groups and so forth. But this, I love the door. So I knew they were going to open soon, but I drove by and said, check this out. Cork and Gable. So, trying to get the time there. But yeah, I want to check this door out again. They have a nice, now open. Yeah, look at this door. Yeah, and look how close to the train station. So in the next few years, it'll be kind of exciting to see what happens. 2 James, they have a distillery there. They are open. They've been there for a few years now. We got some. What do they have in those barrels? Ooh, and we have a red light district right here on Michigan Avenue. Got some green lights there too. And across the way. And then downtown. And church. So this whole neighborhood, everything. Wow. We'll see what this looks like in a year or two. Then the beacon, that's on kind of foggy nights. You can really make that out pretty good. Open Streets, Detroit. And you see more artistic graffiti or murals and so forth. Even my evil twin was enjoying these murals. Yeah, they had the lights on this floor now. Not sure what the time frame for all this is, but now if that holiday train came by, I'm trying to even think of where the good viewing spots for the train would be up here. But there's good places, Inner City Baptist in Allen Park. My friend Jim was saying that would be a good spot. But it'd be nice to track the holiday train as it makes its way from Windsor through Detroit and then onward, because then it goes into Indiana and Illinois. It does a big tour. So, oh yeah, taking the detour. Yeah, that's where the train probably would be rumbling right through. So this would be a good viewing spot right here. And you get on people with your cell phones and say, man, the train just went through, man. Should be by in 5 minutes, which would be great. This place has a notorious past. So what happens there, who knows? But those are like hurricane-proof buildings. 2667. Nice steps. Yeah, I was going to do a little shopping, but wandered through and the neighborhood and everything was pretty much closed on Saturday. Not a very good shopper to begin with, but still checking out the neighborhood is, this Corktown neighborhood, to be sure, is going to feel the effects of Ford and what they're doing. But attract other young businesses and the like, and everybody get into the urban planning aspect, which we can all be part of. There's nothing stopping you. Like that arrow. And this, I might have to try it sometime. Indian, I take it. They got like the emoji type things or whatever, but I get it. It might have been because it was the holiday weekend. I'm not sure. But there's more restaurants and the like popping up, certainly in Detroit. And that's kind of giving the city a little spark. Mexican Village has been here for a bit. Oh, and this has been in the news. Cass Bar. On the way home, I says, wow, what is going on? Cass, probably from Casper. I'm just guessing. But, yeah, notorious. And it's like, wow. Man, I've been in that bar several times over the years. But, and I've gotten pizza from these guys. But, yeah. Okay, well, that was it for that. And then Chicago, my sister, how cool, invited me to Chicago. So I did Christmas in Chicagoland with my sister, brother-in-law, 2 nieces, and one of my niece's husbands. And great thing, but I put the camera kind of away, and then I decided, okay, Kalamazoo. I'm going to check out the Haymarket Historic District. So if you do some speed reading here, a German community. But yeah, Kalamazoo. I was ready for lunch on, this was Thursday, heading home, and said, okay, I'll get a burger. And that's what I did. Then I said, hey, I am going to walk around Kalamazoo. It was raining for the better part of the day, and it was just, okay. It let up for a little bit. 1915. Nice top hat. Oh, and now we got train action. This, telling you, I was a hobo. Okay, I'm near downtown here. But yeah, this train I'm going, this is holding up traffic here. Checking out some of the architecture here. Yeah. Well, Kalamazoo, I was like checking out the city. I'm surprised I hadn't been through here. Right. None of this looked too familiar to me. So it's like, I says, I'll have to come back on a nicer day. But I was just checking trains. It must have been rush hour for trains. So I was digging this. Run. So there's a site. But here you can go left or swiggle to the right. And there's a train hiding back there, but I wasn't fooled. I knew it was laying there and waiting. Sometimes they're like ghost ads. Well, they're too ghosty that it's hard to read them. Then some other more modern artists and some industrial art. But yeah, I was hearing the trains in the background. I said, man, I'm going to stick around. Here's some artwork in the older industrial style, like windows. And then look, Hopcat. I don't know if this one started in Kalamazoo or if it was Grand Rapids, but we got the microbrew thing going in Kalamazoo. Yeah, the Star Paper, I like that building. A little yard station there. So Bell's, that's another brewery. look at this building. I bet it's got some history. They have an eccentric technology. Okay, now it's like that train is coming straight our way. Train had to stop to yield the right of way. That little platform looks abandoned. But yeah, trains were just going back and forth. That was cool. This was all like deja vu. Shakespeare's pub. Is that where he hung out? It's a sharp-looking building. Light lamps, they're all different kind of, so we'll check out a few different styles. I like this one. And a lot of people have paths and so forth running with the rail lines, so you can... It's easy to check out the train action, which was, yeah, I like that. But when I had more time, it'd be cool. So here they got an amphitheater, and then there's a neat story about this turtle. But I don't spend enough time, sorry. Really speed read. Now Kalamazoo has something even where if you graduate from the high school, I don't know if you have to do some middle school or elementary, but how that plays out, but you're supposed to get a free college education for your kid. That seems like a huge bonus. So it's kind of like, okay, well, let's see what Kalamazoo is like. So the name makes it sound like it's a crazy place, Kalamazoo. But it seems automatic. They have a crane too. No, the whole I-94 corridor is good all the way to Chicago. So you promote that whole Chicago to Detroit, and then on to Toronto, and then to Montreal. And we could have a combined Olympics. Detroit's tried any number of times, I think like 7 straight times. and they were supposed to get the Olympics in 1968. It just, Mexico City got it. So it's like, man. But, you know, Chicago's tried a few times. They missed out with the Rio de Janeiro was the winner in 2016. But Toronto's tried several times also. And so all three cities have made attempts for the Olympics. But they said recently they would accept like a regional type thing. Or even like an international. So it's not too far-fetched that you could say, you know, the international would be, I like Detroit, Windsor, but you extend it to Toronto, because Toronto is certainly world-class. But then to include Chicago, too, you got that whole region, and then you could even... You can add and say Cleveland and Buffalo, the Great Lakes kind of deal, and you spread the wealth but spread the costs too, because Olympics are expensive and it's a money drain. But regionally, we have enough. It'd be nice if there was a nice train that connected it all, right? That Detroit River Tunnel thing, yeah. Have a nice fancy hotel on the Detroit side. Put a nice one up in Windsor too. Yeah. That's a growth industry, tourism. Detroit doesn't see too much of that, but other cities certainly have. New York, Boston. To a lesser extent, but Chicago gets a lot of tourism. Detroit gets it here and there. But the word is getting out. But a train would be nice. It'd connect it all. And anyways, Kalamazoo, I'm liking this city. Just walking through downtown. There's some nice old school buildings here. This one, 1891. Yeah, and I've been to Battle Creek. I want to check out the whole I-94 corridor. I have to reset my clock. But then I parked down there. They got a sky deck here. Folks, though, thanks for watching. And do your own urban planning thing. Anyone can participate. Anyone can be part of that discussion. Be a piece of that puzzle. Look at some of these buildings. I like how they interconnect. But they got the detail. This is where I stopped for lunch. Green Top Tavern. And I parked here. It was only 90 minutes, but I overstayed my welcome. But I didn't get a ticket, so I was loving that. And then I made it home. Folks, have a happy new year. And we'll have something next year, hopefully. Good night.